I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in a debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary researching, we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland, smoke spoken, bro, they love the Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts, so my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead, you're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Yeah, come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube and apologize like Dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists see me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a speller with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up in your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like I'm not in city for my woman in gold. I keep the pseudos running, people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. It ain't nothing happen to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connection. My complexion, pure black, that's the essence. Make me smile. You love me? Show me some love. All right. Yo, what's up? I just was like ready to build. You know what I mean? So we gonna get it in today. And I got a question. Were there stargates and portals in ancient Egypt? Because everybody will tell you there is. And I'm not here to say there's not. But what I am here to show you is a lot of misinterpretation. And I'm going to show you just how the misinterpretation occurs. We're going to look over some simple things in the ancient Egyptian primary text that should dispel some misnomers, some nonsense. We're going to look over doors, roads, gates, and we're going to look at a few different theories. Because I also argue that Kemet was encircled by walls and had gates. This is my argument. And so we're going to look over some of this stuff today. Thanks for tapping in. It's going to be another good show. Let's get it popping.
Black people, I love you, and I love you enough to tell you, you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself, you don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them, you don't prepare for your own meat, you don't own your own land, you don't have a seed growing in your window. So when you think about revolutionaryism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit. Killer Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat. Crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa. Ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis, and bury it, the jackal, Anubis. I'm cool, keep them heaters, and I'm in tie in an abyss. He ain't rapping due to libations, he just channeling this. Hands down, you ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified. I'm on life. craft propellers over swamp water. We make the thoughtful think they should have thought harder. Be aware of this. Don't blink, there's only one blunt between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I breathe elements and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees, and still be Hotep and ask to rig Nasheed. 6 in the morning, I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this, because I know our spirit and our emotions get stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not diametrically opposed to I agree with everything my brother said about revolutionaryism. So let me ask you guys a few questions. We're in the South, we're in the heart of the South right now. Who fishes? Who knows how to fish?
Black people,
hands down. Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands down, hands down, hands down, hands down.
Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt?
I don't know. What's up with y'all? What the day look like? How is it? So were there portals? Spaceships. We ain't gonna do spaceships and electricity today. We just gonna do portals, Stargates. Anybody see the movie Stargate? I don't know if I've seen it or not. I probably seen a few clips of it. But one day I heard Billy Carson doing the Billy Carson knowledge. Y'all know how that go. He's the real new age. He's like new age. Some people just say pseudo. But he pushed forward the spaceships, the aliens, the Stargates. But he tried to start talking about some metal nature. He started talking about a term that we know, Sabah. So I'm just gonna show y'all something how I do if you ain't familiar with my show, I just simply stay in the text corpus because it gives me access to primary text with facsimiles of the original Medu Neter so I could go over it. If there's ever any discrepancy, you know we Magi archers, we just look that up. We find that primary to see what's the discrepancy. So we're going to go into the text corpus and scrutinize a few terms. Shout out to the chat. I see Brother Reggie in the building. I see BC Suno in the building. Immortal Dragon. That good guy, Sankofa. What's up? Criminology. Thanks for tapping in, y'all. And so, I don't know. You got to understand, I'm not against all of that. Like the type of person I am, I'm not against it if it was real. If you had evidence to prove it, I'd be like, dang, them boys got bars. They proved that thing. But you have to understand first and foremost, Stargates, portals, all that stuff is not a direct link to extraterrestrialism. But it's allowing you to go there, to start thinking about these inventions of man that we find in Egypt, it allows you to start going there like it has something to do with Stargates, portals, and then you're gonna throw in aliens. So that whole get down ain't it. And so let me start by showing you we're in the text corpus right now, the TLA. And just by my limited knowledge of the ancient Egyptian language, I refer to this term, Sabah, as a boat or a door. But no, I'm sorry, this is simply a door. But look, you see that word portal at the end? That's in the dictionary. So if a person wanted to try to refute me, they would be like, well, hold on. You see right there, it says portal. That's dictionary work. Why is that dictionary work? Because we don't know what attestations they looked at to prove that in this instance, in that one instance back here, that it's a portal. We also have to ask, what is a portal? For me, a portal is an opening to another dimension. I could be wrong. A portal is an opening. This is the way New Age describe portals. An opening to another type of existence, whether it's a new dimension, whether it's the spiritual realm, wherever it is, you go through a portal to get there. So if we was to just stop here, we wouldn't have any understanding of why Egyptologists say in this instance it's a portal. It's probably going to be the case that we find some cosmic door. I'm just presupposing right now that we might find some cosmic door in some funerary tale that allow us to look at the term Sabah as a portal. Now I want to show you something. We got to look at the metal netter. Hopefully I can just copy this. No, forget it, I just make it big. Look at the glyphs. That just represents the S sound, right? This represents the B sound. This represents the A sound. So you see two determinatives. Some might ask, why is this determinative in the middle of these other glyphs? I couldn't just answer that off the top of the head, but it's often like that in this instance, right? So why is a star, that appears to be a star, right? And then a door. See how easily we could do this? We could actually look at this star in this door in the ancient Egyptian word for Sabah and start to form a theory that it's a door to the cosmos. Right, peace to Hakeem Green. Thanks for tapping in. So, in order not to speculate and to qualify why indeed, I'm gonna make this smaller, and to qualify why scholars put, let me see if I can find it. To qualify why scholars put a portal here, we have to do some philology. It sounds nice, that sounds like a word to know. It's just looking over the text. I can say we gotta look over the text. Same thing. Damn, I got a crook in my lightweight neck that came out the blue. I'm gonna have to see if I get some. Let's get that handle back. Golly. So what we do now is get out of the dictionary section and go into the text corpus. And we are qualified as just simple thinking men and women because we got the tools that we need to see how they came up with this. Now watch what I'm going to show you. This text corpus is in chronological order. And we don't want to act like the work we're doing just like this is exhaustive, because what people do is we get caught up because there's other text that ain't in the text corpus. The text corpus deal normally with text, pyramid text. They got all kind of papyri, but there's other, they don't got all rock inscriptions. They got some, they don't got no Shabbatis. There's all kind of text on Shabbatis. They got some coffin text. They got a lot of coffin text. But what we're doing is looking at what's in the academic text corpus, kind of like I always say, it's like how the Hebrews use the Strongs. Well, not necessarily for the definition of the terms, but now we get to actually see primary accounts, which some brothers can't just do because we don't got primaries for other stuff. So here we go. Without even just going into the meta-netter, until I see something that I have a discrepancy about, we're going to just rely on what the qualified scholars at the Thesaurus Lingua Egypti say these translations mean. If there's anything to scrutinize, we could go into the entire text and look at the context and see if that makes sense. Now, this says it's a tomb inscription, a grave inscription from the Old Kingdom at Saqqara from the north of the Step Pyramid. This is the grave of Tai. It's in the sacrificial chamber, east wall, south part. We got enough information to argue with anybody. Right here, it simply says chiseling a door. We're already familiar with this S and the B. We don't see the final consonant that's given the sabah. That's because that A is what we call a third weak sometimes, and it could just, I'm stopping. A, I, and Y. A is the third weak. U, I, and Y? A is the third. Yeah, A can fall off sometimes. It don't need to be there. If I click the word, it might reappear. See how it reappeared? Because that happens in ancient Egyptian language. So that's our word for the door or the doorway or the portal. But we have to investigate this word, chiseling, right? To chisel. So we know right there the first use case of the term during the time period of Murrin Ra. If we don't even want to look further, because the rest of it, they probably chiseling other stuff and building more. But right here, you're not going to chisel no portal. See what I mean? So this is just one attestation to the fact that they talking about a door. In this instance. Let's look at the second one. And it says location specific. Good is kai at the gate. Now, if you wanted to look in, like I was saying, this is the basis of Jed Kara, right? And we could go over all that, but I'm not going to do it every time. I'm just showing us how to access the text. Let's go in here and see if there's more. It's definitely more. It's 5 pages. We won't do all 5 pages. We just see, there you go. They're talking about an estate, right? So as soon as we clicked in to get more information, now we get in the context of this gate. In that second attestation, it will be hard to argue that this is something about some portals. And we just dipped into it real quick. If you're going to write a book or paper, you might want to dip in there a lot better than we doing. But right now, this is a revision list inventory of the hall. They simply got the transliteration. But as we go on, you'll see they'll actually provide the meta-nature for us to look over. So it's just an inventory of the hall, from imported wood
Now, imported wood, and then we got something about a gate after that. Then they talking about door leaves, door handles, imported wood. Man, this is a wooden door. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. To do this, we don't have to be acting like we master teachers. Everybody with some computation, well, it's not a skill. Computation ain't a skill. But the aptitude to compute, you know what I mean? Could just simply say, well, man, if they talk about wood, how is this a portal? Now, there are 441 of these attestations. All right, and so I don't think I'm gonna be qualified to go over all of them in this video. We're gonna skim over and breeze over and give us some context. The gateway to the interior. Now, I'm going to use this for my other argument. The interior here, Kenu, can be translated two ways. And somebody could put it up in the chat before I say it, but I'm going to say it quick. So don't try. It could be translated as the interior or the residence. I don't be hating on these scholars. I know they know what I know and possibly more. And so I often have to decide that they chose this to be the gateway to the interior instead of the residence because of other contexts that I'm not seeing before I click this, right? But nevertheless, this could translate to the gateway to the residence. It applies to my other argument in both ways because my other argument that I want us to note here is that Kemet had doors. Kemet had gates. You won't hear nobody argue this. But I'm going to prepare to start filling that up. And so this interior here, you can see this phrase, Kenu, often used to say the homeland. It's like saying you feel me? It's like saying in the thick of it. I'm trying to find the way we say these things. It's almost not downtown. No, not nothing like that. I mean, it's just like you in the interior of the community, in the center of things. But yeah, that's why it's the interior. The glyphs, they're not showing us now, but if we could see the glyphs, it would be a cow with his head cut off or a bovine with the head cut off. Some bovine animal with the head cut off. Right? The gateway to the interior, since this is from the same tale where they were just chiseling the door, see, wait, no, that's not the same tale. It's from this one, where good is Kakagura at the gate, where we know they're talking about his estate. Then I would assume that most of these, even the one with the wood, this reference is still to a physical door, a gateway to the interior of this estate. See, the west gate, the door leaf is still the same text. So all of the majority of the Old Kingdom uses of this term, look, these are lugs you could just take into your, because there'd be too many lugs on my show. Watch this. The whole first page that we looked at for attestations to the term sabah are from the basis, and I think that's a bad translation, are from the time period of Jed Kara. That's just a lug right there. That's dating the first usage of the term for door in the text corpus, right? Still, we have a gate, a piece of wood, and it's chopped off. I'm not even have to look. That's a door. It's still Jed Kara, the northern gate, so we can keep going fast. Jed Kara, the northern gate. The whole first page, it's a physical door. I'm going to go faster so we can look to see, since it's so many, it's 42 pages of attestations. I don't think I'm going to go through them all, but I'm just going to skim through them. If they keep saying wood and stuff like that, slaughterhouse gate, those who are on the gate. Now, this is still Jed Kara. They on the fence, bruh. Damn. See, this is what I be trying to tell fools. A lot of these idioms, look at that. Well, I don't know if it's an idiom. We could click into the text and see if some people are physically on the gate. But this appears just like an idiom we know about people being on the fence. I'm not going to click into it to corroborate that now. If you want to come back, I'll show you how to get to this search right on the TLA. But it says those who are on the gate. And I don't think it's the idiom. I think it's actually something on the gate. I made this door for him for the price of an apron, thereby becoming a priest of the dead. Now look, this sixth dynasty, this is not the same attestation. So this is another inscription of Kemeneti, or some might say Kemeneti, whatever. And he said he made a door for him for the price of an apron. I don't think he made a portal. If y'all want to click into that, nah, he got paid with an apron, everything physical here. But he said thereby becoming a priest of the dead. So let's look into it. Right? Because he could be talking about some doorway for a deceased person. What he says is, my Lord has appointed me to assist as an assistant to the priest of the dead. Over here, that word is him-ka. This would give us a servant of the spirit. So that's how they are qualified to say a priest of the dead. I made this door for him for the price of an apron, thereby becoming the priest of the dead. No more, it's not another text. So if you tried to say that this is your text to prove that it was a portal, I already know. It ain't even no more than that sixth dynasty text. I love knowing these texts in the text corpus. It assists me in dialogue. So let's keep going. Here we go. Uh-oh, there you have it. The gates open in the sky to the horizon. Now, this is one that we will click in to see. These are like spiritual gates, family. In the concept of going to the duat. They didn't say a portal here. Nevertheless, I mean, one of these is going to say a portal because they got it under the definition. Nevertheless, I want you to see what it says. Funerary text. Right? Pyramid text, Pepi. So if you want to know, it says the gates open in the sky to the horizon. Y'all want to look at the Medu Neter? So I don't know this term wind for opening. Right? But it's like, this is to exist. So it also, it means something else, but it means to exist, right? And then since we have an in at here, I'm going to think that this is some type of a verb form. And I don't see it all reflected in their translation. So I'm going to qualify what I'm about to say by clicking the words, right? Now, I understand, I know what's going on. I think they are, this is what I think, and I'm going to show you, and we'll prove it by clicking the text. They're taking this word to say open because it's, see, the position that it's in the sentence right now, followed by this preposition, and then this is a particular verb form. So without knowing what it means, I think it got to do with opening, right? And this, if this is correct, let me click it, watch. So what I said was it means to exist, but in this instance, I think it has to do with the translation here for opening. And I'll show you why. Oh, you know what they did? Okay. To open. But here's what they did. They put a different determinative after this, which is kind of unfair because that determinative is what classifies the term. And you see that's not here. And so the term when does mean to exist, but in this case, it's simply there to open. So if this is in the first position, it is opens. That's why they said opens, like an action. And so I thought this was Sejum NF, and I'm looking at how they got it down here. It's just said opening to it or something. So let's check it out. Right? So you can peep guard. 2. So I'm saying it said open to it because this is a preposition. I mean, not a preposition, a suffix, right? That's representing a pronoun that you can is you, is open to you, but okay, yeah, I'm just gonna say you, not it. Normally, if you want to say it, you'll put an F here. So it says the gate opens, but this literally says open to you. And then we see our term here, right? And they tell us it can mean a door, a gate, or a portal. This is our term sabah here. Now we want to deal with this preposition here because it says open to you, the door, the gate, because there doesn't have to be a definite article. You can just assume the definite article of the door, the gate. They said a gate. So that you see, they took this and scrambled it around. They said a gate opens to you. But because they put everything in the King's English, but I like to do a literal first and we could come back and do that. Open to you gate by, see if I click this, it'll be by or in, right? Look, in, they didn't put by. All right, so I'm just gonna stick with in. In, now this is the sky, it's pet, right? You click that, you see pet, you see the sky. They say the heavens. It's just the sky, but there you go, see the sky? Okay, cool. You can say the heavens though, that's this word pet. Now we have air here, and this can mean many things. It can mean to make, to create, but I don't think it is saying that. I think it is like the conjunction of there as, or here as, or as to, something like that. Watch. To, at. I said as to, right? So that's right. And then lastly, we have the horizon. So open to you door in sky. See? If I wanted to be pseudo, I'll be like, see, this is the text about the portals. But now we have to go in here and show more of the text so everyone can see that he's deceased. He dead. And the portal that he's going through, if you go, Horus goes. All right, let me show you. We're on page 2 of it, but we should be able to get some clarity. You judge the gods and limit the expanses. It says, between 2 scepters in this, your dignity which Anubis has ordained. If you go, Horus goes. You speak, Seth speaks. You go to a lake so that you can travel upstream to the Thynite Nome and pass through Abydos. The gates open in the sky to the horizon. So now somebody would be like, how you know he dead? Because we have to go back and see. It says, the hearts of the gods rejoice at your approach. Because one could interpret this like, look, I told you he was in his boat going down the river. All of a sudden the sky opened up. And I even heard Dr. Phil say something like that. Like the Nile turned to the Milky Way or something. Like it was real crazy. But let's see, maybe they're actually lost in these texts. And let's see if we can get some clarity. A gate opens up in the sky to the horizon. The heart of the gods rejoice at your approach. So let's start right there. Not the heart of the aliens, but over here we got a term for Necharu. Right? You see that heart? That's a heart. Yup, somebody just wrote Neteru. You see that term right there for Neteru? So why is that significant? Because if you going through a portal to see the Neteru, you dead. And if the hearts of the Neteru rejoice on your approach, that's because you just came through that door. Look, they take you to heaven. See, we could go over this because if you want to say heaven, it's just this word for sky. But if you're going through the portal, yeah, you probably ain't got to see. That's why they're giving it a destination location in the sky saying heaven. But they take you to heaven as your ba, your spirit. We see the ba right here. Your ba. Right? By being powerful amongst them. That's all the rest. It says, as Horus on the sky. So we clearly see you ascend to heaven. We've read enough to know that anyone using this text to talk about things like alien portals would be misinterpreting it. It's a funerary text where his spirit goes through this door. Now we're starting to see the relevance of the star as well as the door you can see here, door jam facade, right? Because you're not about to go chill with no aliens, but the Duat is a destination location in the cosmos. The Duat is also the burial chamber in the tomb. So even we get confused sometimes when they come down to the Duat. Let's go to the next one. All right, you see the horizon of heaven who opens the gate. And is this the same text? This Pepe the second. We got the context of a sabah, and it's multiple ones. It says plural. So it's like door, gates, see? We still know this context, we can move on. When he comes out of the western gate of heaven, bring him that southern gate of heaven. I'm pretty much sure that none of us is going to take this funerary text and act like this is a portal to go see the aliens or to another dimension. Because you got put in that other dimension by death. So you there now. Now you just navigating to the destination location. See what I'm saying? It's not like you was in one state, you went through the portal and got to another state. No, that's not how ancient Egyptians were describing it. And I'm just saying that word to be more ubiquitous, but we got terms we would call them the Remech. They called themselves the Remech. We have times they called themselves Kemetiu, but that's not it's not really used a lot. It's only used, I only found it like a few times. So when he comes out of the eastern gate of heaven, we know that's that. The gates of the horizon have been opened to him. See, they would take this and say, well, what about that? Well, we'll say it's still a funerary text. Same text. Pepe the First, I'm not looking. And then we only got through 3 pages. The work I do is trying to go through all of these and dedicating them to memory so that when we start talking about particular stuff, I can tell us what it looked. This is my brother. This is the one at my side, says Geb, as he takes Pepe by the arm and leads him through the gates of heaven. All right, gates of heaven. Still going. Gates of heaven. Eastern gates of heaven. Marian-Ra text is often copied from Pepe's pyramid. So we'll see a lot of the same duplicates in this Marian-Ra time period and text. The gates of heaven. Is it fair to say, if we're dealing with a pyramid text and the person is deceased and it's a funerary text, that when they say the gates of heaven, they're not talking about no portal to another dimension? Is that fair enough? All right, I think that's fair enough. And so all of these have the same context. Because you see the horizon of heaven who opens the gate, still Pepe the second now. And without looking at, all right, now let's stop this one. This is a little different because people will see something like this term spell book and still be misconfused. But look, they already telling you this is about the afterlife. It's not a portal a physical human about to get into to go see the aliens or nothing like that. Or into another dimension or nothing. Stella of Intel. All right. We just on the third page. We probably do 5-6 pages, and we won't be able to say anything conclusive, but about the time periods that we've covered. We already did the majority of the Old Kingdom. We up to Mentuhotep. We're now in the 11th dynasty. Feel me? And so we already did the Old Kingdom right on my show. So let's just stop right now. In the Old Kingdom, did the term Sabah have anything? I always limit what I'm saying to the text that we scrutinize in this text corpus. It is relatively exhaustive, but before you go have a debate, look elsewhere. Since they got so many texts in here, it would be safe to say that at least in this text corpus, we just looked over the Old Kingdom. Have you guys seen an instance that we could take to misinterpret as portals to someplace else? I think it was pretty cut and dry. Some of them were physical doors, and now we're talking about doors when we talk about going like the pearly gates, family. How about that? We just see the pearly gates right here in Kemet. They just wasn't pearly. So they take all that. So these them same gates, they just put them in a different tradition. And nobody would misinterpret the pearly gates as a portal. See what I mean? I would love to go over this whole text. Hot, or you only see ha, but it's probably the word hot empire. Hot empire Mantu. So it's the foremost of the house of Mantu. You know, the nature, but I don't know why they only put Mantu, right, and didn't put his, to show he was a nature in the determinative. Oh, look, if I click this, you see it's all one word. So this is a phrase. This is a phrase for the foremost. It's probably the foremost of the house of Mantu. If I click it, it's going to say the court and the temple of Mantu. All right, so they're telling me it's a thing. That's fine. It still says the foremost in the house of Mantu, but the foremost house is the court, is what they're telling us. Feel me? The foremost house is the court. So the court of Mantu, and we see Rapa. Oh man, that word killing me. I know that word. We all know that word. It's short. It's a shortened word. Repa is shortened for Rapat, but I'm forgetting what it means. Nep. I mean, I ain't trying to do this. And look at this. This is another phrase. Hey, babe. What's up? I'm just lying. This is another phrase right here that I'm not familiar with, but we could have broke it down, but I'm not about to. Yep, this is the hereditary prince of the first primordial time. All right? And now this is something about knowledge or to know. This word is rek. It means knowledge or to know, right? Look. To know or knowledge. Feel me? So the foremost prince, this is just titles of a person. He has knowledge of what this is. Now that looks like a Hotep table. And you see the T and the P, but it's another T and something that looks like this. So this is why he got knowledge of bread. He got knowledge of some type of an offering, a bread offering. See, an offering. See what I'm saying? Because how you know that? Because you read the glyphs. You see the Hotep on there. It don't just mean peace. It means like a peace offering, but they put the rest of this for us to understand that, right? Now this is belonging to. So this is the offering belonging to. Watch. Belonging to. See what I mean? Let's go back. Hold on. Damn. What it belonging to. So this is who the offering belongs to. So you see 3 R's and 3 houses. Now, this is some old kingdom going on. So instead of saying 3 R's, you're going to say Ru, Paru. Because to pronounce plurality, you just say put a U on the end. And if this is 1 R, we say R. Now put a U on the end of that, you say Ru. Then you got a Per, which is a house, but you got 3 of them. Paru. Now this seems to be a compound word, Ru, Paru. We're going to look to see if I'm right when I click it. I'm just reading it, but when I don't know if this is that, but I can tell it's a compound word because when I hover over it, they're not separating it. So what is Ru, Paru? So if these are some knowledge, if he has knowledge of the offerings belonging to Ru, Paru, then this word probably ain't going to be Paru. This word is probably going to be Shinu, and I'm going to say, see, you can watch me be wrong so you can see that I ain't really tripping off that. It's probably the storehouses, something about the storehouses. This isn't how you normally write it, but I'm figuring this out because he got knowledge of the offerings belonging to, what else would Ru, Paru be? Let's see. See, Ru, Paru. Now let's see if I'm right. The temple. I'm tripping. What did I say? I said the storehouses. I messed that up. It was just the temples. Okay, but this is a temple. Fine. Ru, Paru. All right. I can understand that. Now look, this is, so when they put these single strokes under here, see the attestation I'm looking at don't got the single strokes. So I had to go off what I had to go off. If I was looking at these with these single strokes under here, this is to let you know to take the glyph above it literally. So this glyph above it is a mouth. That's a mouth like I'm speaking with. You know how we draw lips? You never looked at it like that. Oh, that's just like a little open mouth. Now this is a house with the entrance. This 1 digit could go into the entrance, you feel me? So this is like, if you're supposed to take this literal, it is a mouth and a house. So what does that mean? It is a place where, I don't want to say incantations or, preaching and all that type of stuff, but that's what it's leading us to. Why? Because it's the temple or the chapel. So why you see the mouth on there probably has to do with the orator of the temple doing this thing. Some people could interpret that in other ways, but that's what I see. I'm not going through all this because we get lost. We simply here to see the use of Sabah here, right? And to see if they're talking about a portal. So I'll read the whole thing. The governor of the estate, I'll stop right there. Because they talking about physical buildings, and we're asking whether it's a door on earth or a door to the cosmos. As soon as I see a state, then I see temples, right? I'm going to argue, and then I see mounds on the farmland. I'm going to not have to read it all. This attestation, one for whom was opened the collection of spells, who knows the morning house, one at its doors, okay? Don't let nobody tell you some of that pseudo stuff. Doors were made for it of stone. I don't have to read that no more. May the West open its gates for him. So, y'all, this is Mentuhotep, the second. Very interesting. I don't remember this. That's because it's from the Stela of a Henin. I never visited this. Let's go in. Let's go in. Let's see how many pages it is. Oh, it's only 4 pages. We're going to do the whole thing. Because I don't think I ever seen this text. We already got the context of it. But see, this sacrifice, let me talk about it. If I click this word sacrifice over here, it's taking us back to Hotep. That's why people like Aline Bay was so messing up the glyphs that they taught y'all that Hotep was a sacrifice. But see, anytime you offer somebody something, it is a sacrifice. Unless you live in great abundance. Let's just say somebody come over your house for food to eat. The rations in your refrigerator are not going to be the same. Now you're going to ration out different to provide an offering for your people. That's the type of sacrifice it is. It's not the type of sacrifice where they make you think that I'm going to kill something in order to get a response from something that I don't know in this physical world. That ain't what that is. So we know that because this is a traditional formula that we know called Hotep Dinisu. Hotep Dinisu. Now, I mess up Hotep Dinisu, and I'm about to go over the grammar of it right now. I don't mess it up. I know what it is, but I've read texts where I was like, hold on, let me trip. It's an offering for the king. From the king, though, see? It ain't to the king. It's to the king. That's where I mess it up. So somebody put Hotep Dinisu in the chat. Offering from the king, for the king. How about I read this out loud and then we can do it. So this is our Hotep Dinisu right here, right? This is a phrase. Nisud is in the beginning position. Hotep is in the middle. The D is at the begin. It's just transposed graphically. If I come in, you see it say Hotep Dinisu, right? Now, if I come down, offering proof of grace. Now, I want to translate this to see what it says. Funerary act of by the king. Okay? I'm just straightening myself out and y'all can learn with me. We already know Hotep Dinisu ain't given to the king. It's an offering from their chief authority to the Netcher. Most often. But let's see how this goes. So we got Hotep Dinisu Wasir. You see Wasir right here. If you want to follow, just go, everything I go to, just go to the next word. So this is Wasir here. Now you see that Neb bowl over the word Jedu, and then you see the X marks the spot 049 glyph, letting you know this is a location. Jedu. So Neb Jedu, Lord of Jedu. Now let me think in my head, where is Jedu? Oh, it says over here, Busiris. So Jedu, he's the Lord of Jedu. Now we see Kenti. This is just a shortened Kenti, I'm into you. This is another name for Wasir or Osiris as we know him. Kenti, I'm into you. Right? He's Neb, that's Lord. You see that's Neb up there, and that Neb, that little bowl. You see Neb in the transliteration. And then another Nebet, but that's down here. This is Abido, so I don't know what Jedu is. Because this is Neb Abju. Show you the Lord of Abid, but I don't have to keep doing it all. We could do that in another lesson. A funerary offering of thousands of bread and beer, and for thousands of cattle and birds, 1,000 alabaster and linen, 1,000 of every good thing. So hold on. Every good thing is a statement that matches up to our, it's all good. But I'll talk about that later too, if I can find it in the Meta Nature. Let me find it in the Meta Nature. Every good thing, wait, every is Nab. Good is going to be, what's going to be good? I ain't trying to trip. I'm just looking over this. So I don't go off on a tangent when I say I don't go off on a tangent when the way I thought it would be written. I just don't see it the way I thought it would be written. And I don't even know why I'm focusing on that right now. because I wanted to talk about it. They be saying all good things the same way we be saying it's all good. Something like all the stuff they gave him was good. But whatever, that ain't what I'm talking about. May he cross the firmament. So y'all want to trip off that? Because while they talking about firmament, that's a translation of Egyptologists who put it in their knowledge. This word bia, let's see what they talking about here. See the heaven or the sky. So that translator just called it the firmament. But he crosses, you see the boat there, traverses the firmament or the heavens. May he pass through the heavens, may he ascend to the great God. Therefore, he is deceased. We know what's going on here. We shouldn't confuse this. May he unite in peace in the land of the beautiful West as the caretaker of Osiris. We got this text, but we still want to get to the part that we're looking for. May the realm of the dead opens its arm to him. May the West give us, see that West that he was talking about is Amenta. If we didn't come in the text, we wouldn't have got the context of the West. Now, the physical West from the ancient Egyptian perspective was Amenta. But trip off this. So Amen means hidden. Ta means land. But hidden is the adjective. So if it was the hidden land, it probably would have been switched around. Amenta is the, I don't want to say the underworld. How would you best say it? They do say the underworld, but it's just the West, and in the West, the spirits of the underworld dwell. This is why we have Kentia, Amentiu, the foremost of the Westerners, right? But Amenta can also be looked at as a dark place of the deceased. And so, here go Amenta right here. Yes, Amenta was a physical location in the West. If you start heading west, like going to Libya, you probably pass through Amenta. Right? But the ta in that isn't to be translated as land, I don't think. Someone could argue against that. But nevertheless, look, here is the symbol giving us that this right here. This says D, Amenta. D means to give, to let, to allow. That's why they say, may the West. And this means to give too. This is the same as this, just in a different form. If I want me to prove it, I'm going to click this. It's going to say D, to give, to let, to allow. Now watch me click this. It's going to say the same thing. Look. Oh, no, they messed that up. They just messed it up, but let's see if it says something. No, I messed it up because they do say something about arms here. But people who read the glyphs understand what I'm talking about. You could see this hand like that, and it could mean the same as that. But that was my error there because it does say something about arms here, right? Nevertheless, we see the West right here. This West, may the realm of the dead open up his arms to him. May the West give. So they're really talking about Amenta, like afterlife location. May he open the ways he desires. Now, we'll come back to this one. But the opening of the way, in Rosicrucianism, you can often hear these type of texts exploited. You can often hear trust me, I'll pull up a Rosicrucian video right now. A matter of fact, let me see if I can do that. Because they're going to be talking about the opener of the way. And they ain't even African. I'm African, I'm more well qualified to tell you. Watch this. Smack your lips if you want. But what you're going to realize is that the opener of the way Even if you want to take it metaphysically, you better understand him as a bushwhacker. See, I said that too in a rap. I told y'all that. I forgot what I said though. But being a bushwhacker sounds funny to you, huh? Then you say it in a better way. You say a trailblazer, right? See, you don't have no concept about being a corporate, a mental, a artistic bushwhacker, but we do have ones about being trailblazers. It's the same thing, but the concept of opening the way is simplified by me in saying just like a bushwhacker. But that concept goes beyond physically carving out a path for a person. I could open up the way for you, like lacing your boots and showing you how to do things. But I came here to show y'all, watch this. I'm gonna put OPENER of the, look, see, they already got this exploited. Even when I put it in here, you about to see opener of the way and all kind of different stuff talking about the opener of the way. Check this out.
You fool, Warren is
I don't even know what they about to do.
alive, and those that had bowed in worship were long dead. Death was everywhere. It haunted the shadowy tunnel where the idol stood, hidden away in the mummy cases and biding amidst the very dust.
So this ain't what I'm looking for. I can show you a Rosicrucian video. Let me see if I can put Rosicrucian. I can't spell it. Let me see. I think I did close enough. And you can hear Rosicrucian concepts of the opening of the way that they got out of there. But they just be messing stuff up, bro. Here we got opening the vault. But here it is, this right here, the Rosicrucian science of initiation.
For coming.
I know this
Tonight's
video.
topic is going to be on the Rosicrucian science of initiation. Some of you are new to me, and some of you I know from previous events.
Man, I can straighten him out. Well, let's go. Well, let's watch what he said.
And what's different about tonight's event is we're really going to be focusing on trying to give a sense of the Rosicrucian system of initiation. There are many different spiritual systems in the world that have different...
So just note, no text that we looked over appeared from what we skimmed over to be talking about anything about initiation. If you want to say being taken through the portal in the afterlife is initiation, nah. Initiation would be a process of qualifying or being qualified for passage through that portal. If they taking you through it, if it requires an initiation and you're going through it, you already initiated. Think about it.
types of
You're not gonna let nobody through a door that it takes some qualifications to get through the door. Well, then they must have passed them qualifications at the point when you taking them through the door.
initiation programs that a person goes through. And the Rosicrucian system is one that's been very influential in the West.
So I don't want to hear all
Actually,
this. I'm just
sometimes
gonna
hard
get down to
information
it.
about what their actual system of development is. So we're going to try to present that tonight. You might have noticed the lower will centers here.
See, no, not all this. They're gonna start messing up Kenny.
Trinitatis in 1604 in Germany.
Maybe there's a whole video he did.
Path that takes us all the way
Oh yeah, now they on the tree of life.
toward the overall
So he on some Jewish Kabbalah. So he gonna try to take it to Kemet.
of force that is the outline of our body, and then it fills it out.
And this one I be
Geometry was
getting
understood to
mad.
be by the Greeks.
He on the Greeks.
Their nature is when they interact with us.
All right, well he do this whole thing
Through
about
feeling,
casting the
they're
net.
Types of prohibitions on the
Maybe I won't be qualified to find this right now.
record review.
Oh no, I know the
Next, we
videos
have the
in here,
observation of life forces of
right? So since I know I found it, I'm going to go continue because it's at this place. So hold on, let me see if I can find it. This ain't the only video. It's supposed to be a series. All right, forget it. I do that too much, and I'll be trying to find stuff for too long. But that I was going to give you evidence of them messing all this up. Well, at least the instance we seen it, the instance we're speculating, it don't match up to the type of things they're talking about. May he open up the way he desires in peace. The opener up the way in this instance is a spiritual opener, but he just simply giving you the path of the ways that he desires in peace, right? Who? May he traverse the paths, that's what I'm saying. First he bushwhacked and opened up the way for you. Now you're literally traversing the paths of the necropolis. After with the retinue of Osiris, you were in the company with the people of Osiris. May the west open up the gates to him. May the flood give him. Well, we pretty much know we're getting far too much information for our initial inquiry, but it's good to see how these texts work. Our initial inquiry is this a portal talking about something about dimensions and stuff, and not just simply the same type of portals Christianity imagined when you go through the pearly gates. See, that's less spectacular to people who want to be on new age and try to figure something out. Because that concept, we can see it already. And don't nobody want to be on YouTube talking about something that's already just simple. They try to take that and make it to aliens. May he be welcomed by the greats of Abydos. So remember, this is the part we was tripping off. May he move the oars in the evening boat. Now we see the poetry in this because he's still dead. So the greats of Abydos are those who came before him possibly. May he land in the morning bark. May the great one say to him, walk in peace with Ra, who is in heaven. See what I mean? So this is just farewell blessings for a deceased one who is, they want him to have a wonderful, see, in Christianity, you just go to heaven. Then you stand there and wait by some pearly gates. But in the ancient Egyptian thoughts, it wasn't like that. You had to talk about your journey there. How you just get to heaven? You just zap there? Do your soul like be rising up for 10 minutes, 5 minutes? Do it go super fast? See, the ancient Egyptians talked about all that in theirs, and they talked about the path, the way, the direction. See what I mean? And that's what we're scrutinizing. That's what we happen to be looking at. I mean, I'm just stuck in this text now, so we're going to go on and finish it. We understand when, now let's look at this. This might be different. And you notice the term is different because it's not. But it says the sacrifice that is prepared in every monthly festival. Every monthly festival, and so every festival for the spirit of the province of Hinenu, the Ka of the province of Hinenu. Now, some would interpret this as, were they sacrificing something? I don't think that's bad if they did, but that's a bad interpretation. This is just like some offerings. You can even see bread or some type of, some might call it bread, and then a jug here after that, which often contains the offerings. This is the word hotep, right? We got cats, so it's like Jaket Hotep. I don't know what this is a B, no. Jeb Cat Hotep. I don't know what that's. They're calling it recessionary offering. I told you, don't take it as no sacrifice. Funerary meal. See what I mean? Let's keep going. So, I mean, I hope these tangents don't throw you off too much. My show was filled with them. because I think we get additional knowledge when we just look at other things. As long as we retain what the research question is, when we come across doors and portals, and I'm just skim reading the stuff. When we come across doors and portals, then we can stop and address them. But we already got the context of this one. This can't be exploited to put in the category of multi-dimensional portals. What do portals do? If y'all trying to say the portal was like the pearly gates, then I'm wrong for scrutinizing the theory. But y'all wasn't trying to do that. Cats try to get real new age and pseudo and be like these portals to take you to another dimension that's seen in ancient Egypt. They might could do that for real in our existence. I'm totally with that. I'm not against that. I'm against fake evidence of stuff and acting like. How did I get back to page 1, man? I thought we had already made it up to page 4. I'm going to skip to a different term because all we really covered was the Old Kingdom. Maybe I'll keep going until we get to an instance that supports. I'm just going to look to see if there's one that they actually translate as portal. Since portal is in the dictionary definition, it's going to have to be one that they actually translate as portal. As a star passes through the great green water at its underbottom of Newt, this is all about here, man. The gates of heaven. So I hope even some people who, when you started out watching, I'm pretty sure you got some clarity that people be just taking stuff and making it up. We went over this one, I thought. People will take stuff and make things more fanciful, put bells and whistles on something that ain't even that serious. And then they'll sell it as part of their monetization of the information just to get views. We went over this one too, the governor of the state of Montu. Doors were made of stone, we did that. This is the one we stopped at. May the West open its gates to him. So we just looked over that entire text, and now we got the context of that. Build this tomb at the gate of receiving offerings. They talking about building the tomb. I think the word for door right here, which at least that's a different word for door. Sabah. No, potent spirit contents at the mouth of the door. May the mistress of the doors be pleased with you. This is 11th dynasty after the unification. These doors might be on earth. Y'all want to see? And this is the Stellars of Abku too. They also talk about the black man on this text. So it might be funny to see it. So let's go back to the beginning. It's only 4 pages. They should talk about the black man in this text. So I'll let you see it first, and then I'll explain it to you. Lord of the sacred land, him, surpassed the sum of which he made. We could go into the meta net if we need to. I was noble. It messed up. I desired, whatever. I built a house in the mist. Its walls, so there go some walls right here. Because we'll talk about walls too. But his walls reached the heights of heaven. So now we just got some standard ancient Egyptian bragging and just trying to embellish. His walls was probably hella tall, but they didn't reach the heights of heaven. So we see that putting it on thick is ancient too. But let's keep going. Found in the city and the hair foundations in the field. Damn, he's saying my shit was wild. He's saying my thing was founded in the city, but the foundation went all the way to the field. There is no place on which I have not built any monuments. This is the Stela of Abku. He should say something about the black man here. Let's see. I built a first quantity monument of hard stone in Dendera at the terrace of the distant one. I was the he priest, who renewed his call one noble and unique, local prince of the official, one knowledgeable who has no equal. He says, built this tomb at the gate of receiving offerings, which I made at the sacred land of Abydos in the Steinite Nome. That was our term we was looking for. So this is on Earth. The Western Horizon. Now, I could keep doing this all day, keep reading it. I'm going to go down and see if they talk about the black man in this text. There you go. Look, praising the black one. Y'all thought, I know my text, bro. Man, stop messing with me. So, how did I know that? Because you remember sports games. Stop doing that stupid shit. You remember hella irrelevant things. Clear them irrelevant things out your mind and remember something of significance. On the Stela of Apu, you can clearly read in the plain English, praising the black one, celebrating God, praising the Nemes bark for its beauty. Now, when we come over here, you see this the black one. But you see Horus on a standard after that. This had caused early Egyptologists like E.A. Wallace book. Just you guys says, Moon, you just put the same era that I was just about to talk about. So it caused people like Shesmu and early Egyptologists like E.A. Wallace Budge to translate Black Horus. But notice here, scholars in the TLA did not translate this Black Horus, and it shouldn't be translated Black Horus. If this was Black Horus, Horus would be in the front of the term for blackness. So this is black, and then we clearly see that blackness is divine. Not a black king either, my good brother, but the black one. Now, there's a phenomenon happening here that you got to be in like advanced grammar just to know off the top. So I understand how you're making that error, Shazmu. Because what's happening here is the W on this word Kimu has fallen off. So you see it here in parentheses, but you don't see it on the word. If you would have seen it on the word and you are really good at ancient Egyptian grammar, you possibly would have noticed that that is not the adjective black, but that adjective, when you add that "u" on it, you just change the adjective into an entity. And in that sense, we get the black one who is black. Now notice, I wasn't in this text to talk about this. Y'all don't remember a moment ago I got excited and I was like, ooh, this is the text that talk about the black man. Well, don't be confused. This black man that they're speaking of is not incarnate. And that's the best way to say it. He is not in the flesh at this moment. And the Egyptological answer for why he is black don't make no sense. Family. Damn, I was supposed to go. I'm not damn I was supposed to go. I was supposed to go to a museum today, hooking with some Egyptology, but I wasn't. I'm cool. This is a long drive, but I'm going to try to do it like next week or something. Celebrating God. See, I'm not tripping. Your God got to look like you. I don't care what you own. You go to Asia, a lot of the, unless they're Christian and they did the Asian Jesus, I only seen Buddha, right? They didn't draw Buddha looking like, well, people will show me images of the black man Buddha and do all that stuff. Man, Buddha looked like them, bro. Any of those, you go to any Hindu tradition, they will draw their natures somewhat resembling them. Ancient Egyptians did the same thing. These wasn't no Arabs worshiping a black god. These was no white people worshiping a black god. It was people who, see, the fix is in now, so they make you worship some shit that don't look like you, and you ask, why do that matter? But if you look all throughout history, people didn't really do that. You would say, yes, they did. They worship dragons. They worship, well, I understand. Veneration is a deep thing, but they supreme deity, they chief deities look like them. Like, how you going to be powerful if not? This is what a superhero is. This is why they didn't want to give us a lot of black superheroes. This is just superheroes without Hollywood. People imagine the gods doing all this stuff, right? Well, when I click into this, it's not going to actually pinpoint one. It's going to try to, but it's not going to really pinpoint one particular god, one nature. The nature it's most often used for is Wasir, who is Osiris, Asar. Any of those names work. It just depends on what you're trying to pay reverence to. You say Osiris, you just using the Greek and you want more people to understand what you're talking about because that name is more popular. I'm not saying you Eurocentric. My book is called Black Like Osiris. Right? I don't know if Chris is late or if Chris is up to speak. Oh, he talking about the Nemes bark. Okay. He says the bark here is symbolizing that the newt that Osiris came up out of. Shout out to you. Now, why is that significant and why did he put there? I think it's so that we could build that. Well, we know the newt is the cosmos, but I got another text that tell us about the relevance of the darkness of the cosmos and it matching up with the effigy of the supreme monarch in the afterlife. I got that. And the term to scrutinize is Zama Kaka'u. See, we know, shout out to Chris for giving me that love. We know that Kaka'u is darkness. But there's another type of darkness that not many people know about. It's a compound word. It is Sama Kaka'u. Now, it's really weird that the way we know Sama to mean to unite, and also it could mean to smite. We already throw that out. They wasn't talking about smiting the darkness. But I didn't finish this in my book because my book was just, it's not scholastic. It's more like just a reading book on some Egyptology stuff. But I'm saying I didn't finish this and I might have to go upon this endeavor because that unity with the darkness is part of going to the afterlife in the ancient Egyptian funerary metaphor. And so, order in the darkness is brought by these natures. Particularly the chief in that darkness, Wasir, the divine monarch in the afterlife. A lot of Egyptologists don't understand that they messed that up. And they start doing something. I'll give you a simple question to answer. If Osiris, first of all, this don't make sense. Ancient Egyptian deities and deified people are black because blackness got something to do with death. That ain't true. I mean, it's true that you don't see color when you're deceased. I'm not giving that up. But acting like, oh, black, like that's just pseudo now, right? Now, we know about black putrefaction. If a mummy, but check this out. If a deceased person is left in the environment for 3 to 5 days, maybe a little longer than that, black putrefaction starts to set in. Where if that person isn't taken out of the elements, they'll start to turn black, no matter if they was white, upon being deceased. It could even be an animal. Other things go through black putrefaction, right? Now, what stops black putrefaction? Mummification. Are you in a very good climate? You could be frozen. It won't happen. But the human process of stopping black putrefaction is mummification. So just deal with it real quick. Why stop the deceased from becoming black through the natural process of black putrefaction if blackness indeed had anything to do with you matching the effigy of the cosmos in the afterlife, which I'm gonna show you. I can show you the text right now, so I ain't tripping. But if it had anything to do with that, then why would ancient Egyptians avoid the natural process of letting a person's body go through black putrefaction if they wanted them to be black? Well, first of all, they was black already. That's one thing. So it's a study that came out about this that showed that they used this substance called bitumen more in the New Kingdom, and they hardly ever used it in the Old Kingdom upon their deceased. And then they argue that, yeah, they wanted the body to be intact. That's the chief reason why they preserved the deceased. But there's multi-folds to it. They got the folds all in one text. So being black in that ritual was part of the ritual. It wasn't the only reason why they rub bitumen on people, but they speak to it. They speak to the blackness of the deceased and him having to match the effigy of the cosmos, I would say, not the supreme nature. But the stupidest thing that I didn't get to finish what I was talking about, and I was like, this is so stupid. Check this out. It's called Osirian symbolism. Why ancient Egyptians draw themselves black. But that don't answer the question. Because Osiris, which is the root to Osirian, is drawn black. So you're telling me Osiris is black to symbolize himself? How easy is that? That'd be like them chess moves when you play chess and a cat think they doing something. You in the corner setting something, you just let them keep doing it because you see your one direct move that's going to kill all that in one move. So you just don't trip off how he developing the board over there because he must can't play chess. If you don't see that, I could just take all that out with one move. The same thing, that question. How could it mean Osirian symbolism? Does that explain why Osiris is painted black? That's nonsense. But I went off, I told you I do tangents on my show for about 30 minutes. We was not even talking about that, but I haven't clicked into the word. When I click into the term, like I said earlier, they're not going to be able to limit it to just Osiris. It's going to say Kimu. It'll say Kimi, but this rendition is Kimu. It'll say Kimi. Remember we was talking about Sudan and Sudani? Well, that action is called nisbation, the difference between the two. We formed the nisba out of the term Sudan. We put an I on the end to say one from the Sudan. That's hella simple too. We just don't know these terms. So that's forming a nisba, right? Well, the same thing happened here. Kim means black. If you take a reed leaf, if you take an I and put it after Kim, you got Kimi. One who is black, one associated with blackness, one related to blackness. The easiest thing to say is the black one. Right? That's why it says that here. But when I click it, notice it's more expansive. Now this says Kimi. They got the nature here now, and they got the hair here to let us know that this word wants us to focus on color. Not just black color. It's just a coincidence that the color is black and hair is black. But here they want us to focus on color when we read this word. So when you think about this deity, focus on his color. Well, I'm telling you, when you're defining this term, don't ignore that the root means black, as they would not have put this here. Now it's these two reed leaves that changes this root. You see the root Kim? Then you see a dot after it. Anything that's a dot after it in metanetter transliteration, that means it's suffixed on a root. So this Y is suffixed on the root Kim. Kim means black. So now you learn Sudan, Sudani is the same thing. Black or one who is black. So this means the black one. So when we come down here, it says black one. But see, look, and they took some off, but they couldn't even limit it to just Osiris. They had to include men. But to be fair, they would also have to include Aset, as I've shown you in one of my presentations. She, and as Aldolf Armand put in the vertebral, that she was a black woman, Aset, which is Isis. This goes all the way to your Black Madonna, and you don't even get it. Go research Stella Maris. Stella like a star. Maris like maritime adventures. And you'll find out that the Stella Maris wasn't nothing but Isis, still in the museum, right? And so if you want to venerate the true Stella Maris, she got to be black. So I mean, hey, whatever. You can say the Madonna is something else, fine, but it's all the same thing. So anyway, I went off down that black rabbit hole on the video when we was talking about portals. But it was a good teaching moment. I'm past that now. We've seen that this portal from the Stella of Abku, right, was simply, well, I don't want to say it was on Earth. It was just has to do with the deceased getting into the Duat. All right. Now we could do this all day, all night, but I can't give too much. We only did like the Old Kingdom. And just from, let's just be at least conclusive about what we've seen and say in the Old Kingdom, so far we could say, wasn't no damn portals or stargates even talked about. If anybody say that, they just got misinterpretation of something that would be synonymous with the pearly gates in Christianity. Doors and portals to the Duat. You feel me? More easily stated. And so I don't even know why I mean, we ain't been exhausted. Somebody can say, wait, well, that starts happening in the Middle Kingdom. If I keep going, it just make the video too long. I mean, I'm gonna keep going. I got couple more hours in me. Y'all know we build on this show. I'll be having 6-hour shows. I don't be caring. Sometimes I stop streaming just to stop streaming. If my life in order, everything paid, everything cool, I'm not no dad. If I was no dad, I'd be stopping streaming to go get my life right so I can say yes to my kids more. But that just be finances. And that's what frustrates black men. Sometimes you seem like you're an angry daddy, but you just mad that you can't provide at the time when they asking you for something. But don't let that be the reason. If you think about it, it won't be the reason. All right. He met him as he was about to come out of the riverside door to go down to his service ship. Regular door. Man, all these is regular doors. If I go through all of these, we already in the 13th dynasty. If I go through all of them, which I'm not, I'll do it by myself, but not on the live stream. Ain't nothing gonna, oh, here it go. Now, found it. Page 5. The scholars thought it wise to translate this one as a portal. Feel me? Now let's see what they talking about. The portals have broken through the firmament with the white Tara limestone. Huh? So our term here, saba'u, right? This is our same term of scrutiny, a door. But if a door is a noun, it shouldn't be in the first position unless, of course, it's like a nominal, or if it's like, I mean, it can't happen that way. Don't get it twisted. But that's just a different sentence structure. It's not the same, the most often one we see. So the portals have broken. Now, I want to click this word. To injure. All right. So they say it's broken. Door, because how could doors be injured? So the doors injured the firmament or the heavens? The firmament, that's the heavens. The portals have broken. I'm with them for saying have broken. The firmament by, and they say, I mean in, right? They broken the firmament by means of, by, so that broken the firmament by what? Oh, why don't I know this term? It's something about something shining. Oh, they talking about this white limestone. That's a stone at the bottom. Anir is a stone. Anir means a stone. That's the symbol for a stone. And it's white. Okay, so it shines white. So Anir hedge, which means white stone. Now, if I click it, that's what it's going to say, white stone. See, I had to trip off that for a minute because I looked down here, white limestone. Oh, this is the white stone. White stone belonging to, or of, and this is one word, but it's a location. They don't got no locations on here. This is a location called Ramaket? I don't know. No, Ra'au. Ra'au. I said Ramaket. They say Tara. Tura. It's a long stretched out opening, a quarry region. All right. I'm clicking into this text. It's Simro said the first. Let's scrutinize this a little bit. The portals, please. Dug out lakes that reach the river. Told you, wait, its walls pierce the sky. Let's see what's happening. His true and trusted servant who does everything and praises in the course of the day, one dignified professor of dignity, the assistant seal bearer Mary, born of Menkut, says, I was a loyal servant, one great of character, sweet of love. Sometimes, whatever, sweet of love. It it was because of my loyalty that my Lord sent me on a mission to lead for him the work on his palace of eternity. So hold on, this is in real life. He sent him to build a palace of greater renown than Rosatu. I'm about to take, I gotta take my wife. We're going to get something to eat. Let me see. Superior in offerings to any other place, an excellent district of the gods. So just because it's a district of the gods, do y'all think that he was sent to build something in heaven? So I'm going to say that this location, we could probably be able to find the district of the gods if we went to go look, of the Netherrealm. Its walls pierced the sky. This is of the thing that he built. I'm going to read it again. It was because of my loyalty that my Lord sent me on a mission to lead for him the work on his palace of eternity. So that's what he went for, to lead the work. So when we get here, its walls pierce the sky. He's bragging on how big of a building he built. The dugout lake reached the river. So he made a lake at the building and it reached the river. The portals have broken through the firmament with white. See, I told you, bro. This is not translated good. He ain't talking about portals. He building a building. So it's the doors have broken through the sky with white line. So he's saying, man, these things are shining, bro. They don't even understand how to. He just saying these white line doors, stone doors is shining, bro. They done broke through the firmament. All right, I ain't gonna say broke through the firmament. They done injured the heavens, because that's what he said. Right? He said it injured the heavens. Let's go. This is the word they got for broke. See, if you look at it like that, we be saying the same thing, bro. Don't hurt them. Don't hurt them. Look, to injure. But think of an injury that can't really be happened. You can't hurt the heavens. Right? And so we use it in this way to say, look, to harm, to injure. But it don't say what they say, broken. So the portals have broken. I would challenge this. Because he talking about a building he built and he bragging on it. So the walls, when the walls pierced the sky, we got the hyperbole in that. The dugout lake has reached the river. So that's some hyperbole too. He saying, man, my lake so fat, bro, it connect to the Nile. I dug out a lake so fat, it probably really do connect to the Nile. But it's still in the braggadocio sense. So now all of a sudden we got some portals that's supposed to take us somewhere. And this world could mean doors. The doors didn't break through the firmament. We need to have a better word translation for this beawut word, firmament. And see, they're giving us one occurrence. That means this is the only place it occur like this. So how is y'all concluding that it is even that? They got other occurrences of Bia by itself. And it does mean like heavens. But this breaking through the heavens of this door, he talking about how shiny his doors were right after he talking about how tall his walls were. Stop playing. The portals have broken through the firmament with white limestone. Well, tell me how they do that. I could tell you how the doors injured the firmament because they shine in this white limestone. It's what the pyramids used to be encased in, and they say they shined for miles. Osiris Kinti rejoices over the monuments of my Lord. Now, Osiris Kinti would make you think that he's building something in the afterlife. I beg to differ. He's just simply the foremost of the Westerners. And I, myself, am in joy, my heart being happy over that which I have directed. He really directed the building of a building. It ain't about no damn portals. I've read enough. But I'm just going on. See, wet, wild, wet, they messed that up. Because this is the path to Wawet. Wawet is down in Nubia. But they got a god called Wawet. Look at this. Watch this. I'm going to take this, put this right here. This just, look, Wawet was an ancient Egyptian deity who means the opener of the ways. That's not right. Remember I told you they messed up the opener of the ways earlier? All right, they not messing that up. This translates to opener of the ways, but it really don't. If you want to do Medu Necher, you can't leave out the Wa. Wa means one. Wet would be to open. Wa would be one. Then what would wet be? The way. So how you going to say opener of the way and leave out the Wa? This would be like, you got to address that. But wet, well, you don't got to wait a while wet. Oh, they do while wet. Look, wet while wet. I told you they do it while wet over here. It's transliterated as while wet. Look. Because, see, it's some wordplay going on there, bro. Just trust me. Because Wawet is a place that they didn't readily know how to even get there. Now I'm going to go find text, not right while we're watching, but I'm scheduling this for my future studies, to find text where wet, Wawet, and Wawet are associated. So let's continue. Well, look, he all down by Abydos. So how come wet, Wawet, Lord of Abydos and wet, Wawet? Huh? Abydos is a place. Let me go look at the glyphs. Here go Abydos right here. And here go wet, Wawet. Now, I want y'all to see the difference. That's why we can't mess this up. Look. You see, they're telling us that Abydos is a place because I got to get a neck massage. They put the X in the circle. Neb Abju, Lord of Abydos. But right here, look what they got. This has to do with veneration, and it's most often going to be Anpu. Because he's the opener of the way, Anpu. So this is wet Wawet, the Necher. So they're saying, Kinti Amentiu, the great God, Lord of Abydos, and another God, wet Wawet, who is at the fore of Abydos. See, I told y'all. Let me show you something. Now, this is just my hunch, and I'm going to show you how I qualify hunches. EGYPT, known map. Let me show you Abydos, MAP. Now you can't even front on something we just figured out right now. Wet Wawet ain't just the opener of the way, bro. Wet Wawet will help you bushwhack your ass to Wawet. And if you don't know that, I'm about to prove it. All right, I'm sorry. Wet Wawet is kind of directional, bro. I'm not just saying that. I'm going to show you. Open Wawet. That don't make no sense. But look at this. I just want y'all to see some things. First, we got, what does this say, everybody, ladies and gentlemen? Wawet, right? But it's spelled different. But this makes you say the sound wa. This makes you say a wa. So we say wawat. Wawat, that's the T. Now, what did they just say? By Abydos? Where's Abydos, bro? Right here. No, this is Abydos. No, where? Abju, yeah, okay. Right here. Abju. So the opener of the way, so let's go look at the region he talking about. when he's saying these things. Lord of Busiris, that's up north. But that's Osiris. Kenti Amentu, great God, that's the west. Lord of Abju, but they gave that to Kenti Amentu. And Wet Wawet, who was at the four of Abydos. And then we got Henket and Khnum and all the gods of Abydos. See? So, Abydos, I'm saying Wet Wawet may have something to do with, I don't know, I'll look at it, but I don't want to stay on all my infinite tangents that I get on, right? Because I can do it all week, dog. I'm going to close some of these pages. And we only looked at the word Sabah or door. I never showed, and we looked at one instance when they said portal. We scrutinized it and we could see how they shouldn't have probably said portal right there. You know what I mean? All right, I'm about to, I want to take my wife to get some good food, man. I could keep going, but I'm hungry. I didn't eat. And it's these oxtails in Sacramento that I'm going to go get. Hold on. I might come back later, though. Oh, here go another one. So let's do this last one. May he traverse the beautiful roads to the opening of the western horizon, to the district of giving offerings and the portal great of fame. Now, see, they would have took this portal and made this be the one where you could talk to the, what's them people called? I hope just the front of my hat wasn't turned up. Man, I don't do that. The portal called what? Portal Great of Fame. Let's find this last door, man. I don't even see nothing about no door on here. See? Man, you be having to read, bro, because where's that door at? Oh, man, I don't even see it. This is a whole nother word. Look, so maybe this is the word that you might want to scrutinize for a portal. It ain't Sabat. Sabat ain't in this. Look, you can look at the transliteration. See if you see a S, a B, and an A. So the term of scrutiny ain't this portal. So let's look at this portal and see if people messing this portal up. A road, right? That's a road, huh? A roar? A roar, I'm sorry. Where's the portal at then? That's a door. I mean, that's a house. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm trying to see. Okay, so look, here we go. Here they go with another portal. Door, portal, a gate, an entrance, headquarters of administration, gate hall. Why I got gate hall, gatehouse, headquarters of administration, and they went straight to portal. This is the problem we be having. But anyway, if it has to do with one being deceased, we can clearly know there's plenty of doors and portals the deceased has to go through. Don't let that be confused with a portal to another dimension. All right, that fool calling me, man. Thanks for the love. I'm going to come back. This was a 2-hour video. I only went over a few of the attestations to doors. Let me show y'all something else before we go, because it's only right that I do so. I can take the same transliteration SBA and show you how some of their confusion, since they don't read the meta-netter, it's qualified, bro. Because if you don't read the meta-netter, look, this is the same word, and it means a star. Sabah. See what I mean? So if you're only getting it in the English, you can start messing up a door for a star for a teacher. Look what else the word means. But there's only one attestation of that, so we're not even going to read it. It's part of a plan. But look, the most common use case for Sabah is a gate, a door leaf, then they got portal at the end. But look at this one. The third most common use of Sabah is to teach, to educate, to teach. So all you're seeing is the difference between these words is the determinative at the end to let you know which sabah you dealing with. Right? This one only got the star determinative. That just got the star. If you just see the star, you say sabah. But you could just see the star and it could still be talking about a door. That's why you got to know. But this one has the determinative that lets you know, don't make the mistake, it's a door. Look at this one. It has a man with a stick in his hand. This is never about a door unless you're talking about passing through doors of knowledge. This is about teaching, education, to instruction. Here's a sabah, to learn. See how it's still related to teachings. Here's a pupil. So a student is also a sabah. So notice how a teacher and a student can be the sabah, right? A sunshade, they only got one occurrence of that. When they only got certain small occurrences, I don't even give it that much reverence. But you see how sabaka also mean wise or clever, because you are one who has been taught or trained. For star amulet, they only got one attestation. Sabai is the one from the gate, he of the portal. See how they tried to do that? But we know about this gate already. This is the pearly gates, if for lack of better terms. It is the gate that a deceased would pass through. This ain't the Stargate. So, I forgot to tell you. Y'all didn't see that? See, this determinative is a star. And I'm going to end it on this. The determinative for this word is a star. But the definition of it is a gate. Blood, I can't make this up. You've been had. The determinative, the classifier, the actual icon which lets us know which category the word is in, is a star. But the word means a door or a gate. They exploited that on you and told you about Stargates. You can't make this up. That's why I am your Saber. This is why you hear us call each other Saber. Sabah. That's what it comes back to. Saber. That's why I say, Brother Reggie, my Saber, my teacher. I'm a sabah. I like to learn, right? I'm a pupil, right? A student, right? Wise and clever, sabai, right? Because you have received your studies. You can see that now. But he of the portal, we understand that. Look, sabayi, the starry ones, we understand that, right? Because the root of the word is a star, sabah. It could be that. And you take this Y, if you put a TY, U at the end, it would mean people of. But a Y means one, and then the W means make it plural. So that's why they put ones. See? So just remember, the suffix Y means one, and then the W means plural. So you say ones. See, this is the suffix Y. You still see the one, but you don't see a W, so it ain't plural. See how easy that is? Look, how would you know in the metal netter? They're not showing you what the metal netter look like on this one, but this one is there. You see a S, a B, the Y, two reed leaves, and the T, the starry one. But if you've seen it with a W, it's starry ones, right? And you could go research who are the starry ones. But look, the most common usage of, notice you see this papyrus roll here, because it's an intangible concept. The papyrus roll is often used for intangible concepts, shit you can't touch, like love, or teachings, instructions, punishment. Punishment, you get in touch, but you can't touch the concept of punishment, so they will put a papyrus roll for these intangible concepts. Best way to describe it, I heard a scholar say that before, and it stuck with me, because that's the best way I understood it. So we still going over Sabah. Here, all right, let's go over this. I don't want it to be on the screen. Sabayat Nebet Wia Kesfet Sabi M per F. Oh, that's crazy. Now, this isn't all teachings. Teaching everyone, I don't know, this doesn't say teaching everyone. I would say all teachings, Kesef, Kesfet. Kefet would be the enemy, but this has an S in it. Kesfet Sabi of his house. Student of his house. So this says, I ain't gonna guess, I'll take an educated guess. Is this all teachings? Something of his house? Starlight, they mysteries of the suit fends off the rebel as it emerges. Whatever. I didn't have none of that right. People know what I was just going through. This is it emerges. To come forth. To come up out of a house is where they get the term to come forth from. I guessed on this SBI because I thought it was related to the SBI here, but the rebel was right. I got the enemy right, but I seen an S there. Yeah, so I definitely fumbled all over that. Let me see. So we got a teacher and instructor, again, teachings, the door of a cabin. I'm just going to end it with the different dictionary definition. The door of the cabin. Where's the translation at, bro? Forget it. Oh, I got to bounce back. Since I messed that last one up, let me do this one better. But is this instructions, Hesu of the king? But what's Hesu? Oh, so this word is a compound word. Hes. Oh, so this is a compound word too. Okay. Oh, stuff. This somebody teaching the king something? This somebody teaching the king something. Conductor of the king's singers. Oh, he's not teaching. He's conducting the king's singers. Now I'm mad. All these names I'm messing up. I'm hella mad. Let me see. All right, Sabah to you. It's a punisher, interestingly enough. Sabah to you is just a teacher. I don't think there's anything else to mess up. This is Sabah when it's a star. And we got gate. All right, cool. I almost looked up all of them. Let me see. Hold on. Translate to English. Constellation. The Star of Memphis. Okay. Sabah in Sabah. That's a divine epithet. I wonder what that is. Saber, official of the king. Sabah, master. And so this is the king's teacher. I said Sabah Netter up there was the king's teacher, but it still said the same thing. It just said different. It says Sabah Nisut. Saber, official of the king. He's the master instructor of the king. I guess. Star Horse. Saber Heru. I wouldn't have thought teachings of Horus, so Star of Horus. So basically, we've seen enough, and it's 2 hours now. I think just from this video, we could say maybe if people start acting like their use of Saber is about portals to other dimensions. In the Old Kingdom, we could say that was never used that way. I'll probably do the Middle Kingdom in another video, but it's getting long and I'm getting hungry. I could do hella hours, but I'm just hungry now. Thanks for tapping in. I might be back as time avails. Yo, I gotta show y'all something. Flyers, clothes, and hip hop. Y'all, I'll be showing y'all on my show how I do this, how I make this stuff. Now I just looked at my website today, at Hyro website. Let me see. And we hubby, bruh. I got us hubby. Let me show you. And so I don't need nothing, but I'm going to ask for your support. The reason why is because how you be watching me do all this shit and I don't never see none of y'all names come through on the Spotify when it's time to make a purchase. It be all kind of different black names. I mean, it don't be no Taquans, no Tyrones and shit. Huh? It be all kind of, I'm just keeping it a buck. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. It be getting crazy. Cause I'll give up game. I'll show you how we make it. Look, all our new featured products is looking way bubblicious. First of all, show me anybody hip. See, this is my goal. And when I seen this, I was so excited. Cause I'm like, yeah, man, I ain't trying to be like these people, blood. Like I ain't just putting my logo on blanks. You know that, right? It's over for putting the Hyro logo on some blanks. Everything we get is made, cut, sewn. But I had to bring back the Hyro jeans on them, though. These so vintage and they're so limited. Now that baggy is back in style. You know what I'm saying? But on the show, I'll be talking about everything from sourcing this stuff to designing it. Now I ain't even design. I don't pay designers no more. I mean, I will. I just licensed some stuff from my designer homie. Don't get it twisted. But I'm saying it's a different way you do things now. So we out here. I'm about to share the link too. Because if it is ever a good time to cop something, let me show you how we getting it in. So I just been dealing with new manufacturers, right? They put up the Hyro knit beanie now. That's shout out to them. Let me see what photos we got. That's a cool one, but they not showing you the interior, man. We got to get another photo up here. I'm going to show you from my desktop. If they would have showed you the interior on that thing, it would have been more of a selling point. So I'm going to tell them to add that too. Let me show you. Because you need that. You need this furry beanie like this. The website is shophyro.com. What is y'all doing? Do you ever go any place where people like hip-hop? Bro, having on Hyro gear, it be making you be a boss any place that they like hip-hop. Because it's like, I mean, I'm just telling the truth. I'm looking through my WhatsApp to one of my, to my hat maker. And we deal with WhatsApp. And she has some better pictures, man. Hold on. I just want to show y'all. We got to slap this up there, look. Y'all just know it got that fleece furry interior on this beanie. And believe it or not, this is knitted for me, bro. We ain't putting nothing on no blanks. That's the new thing. So I'm gonna get something put into the knit. Like, yo, knit a Hyro sign into the knit so they can know how we getting it in nowadays. To prove that all my hats is cut and sewn, even my hats is cut and sewn now. Hyro hats is cut and sewn now, bruh. I can check, let me show you. You ain't never seen nobody making a hat show you nothing like that. What is that? That's simply the front two panels of the hat. See, they ain't sewn the bill on it yet. I'm not going with that, oh shit, I'm too old in this game. We've been doing this for way too long. We taking over, bro. Ain't no Sean Johns no more. It ain't no more hip hop high quality shit. This is my argument, and I got support, and this is what we rocking. Website shophyro.com. I got fly stuff up there. But these are just photos my hat maker lady was sending me, no big deal. All kind of different stuff like this. Right? Would it be like this though? She like, come on, I got you, family. You thought that was a meme? Y'all thought these was memes. So let me show you her with my hat on then. Do you think it's a game? Nah, we be playing. My partners be flying to China. I'm like, dude, that's what 2014 game you popping. You can fly to China, but you're only gonna be there for 2 weeks. How you gonna protect your shipment? I develop relationships through the computer. Hold on, it was one where she put my hat on so you could see. Here go one where she's showing one of these other hats. But I don't know, this just be hella fun to do. International conference through the computer while stepping my game up for my company. Be talking about it all the time, family. Now I'm gonna show y'all the fly piece on there. And no, we not doing cheap. Cause I'm doing limited runs, bruh. I can show more detail on this suit too than they even showed on the thing, but this is killing them. We put the mesh, the polyester mesh inside the hood, got a few little small, look, it say Hyro right there, but they not showing it. This channel tracksuit go hard, it's thick, dumb thick. And this is that small one on your pocket, you feel me? And so it's designed to look like that, bro. Don't get it twisted. Yes, sir. I just had to get come on, man, because I'm like, man, I put all this stuff up live yesterday. And now I got ads running. It's going to get to 40,000 people a day. So I'm really not asking for nothing. But I'm just showing you how you could go get that new fly shit. With the leather patch, come on, man. I'll show y'all all the making process. Even these was not just, they ain't just putting us on no beanies. They made these beanies. I could have told her to change particular stuff. But what's the big deal about that? Like, you know, I'm just learning how to step that game up. These right here, man, let me show you. Like, stop playing with me, bruh. This the best channel ever because I show you shit. Look, CANVA. Am I about to go to Canva and show you something? Because I communicate with and you can look at all of my stuff in Canva. Just be nosy. Look all around. Look. See, I ain't finish these yet. See? Don't be nosy. Right? Now I'm going to just go back to a few months ago before I brought these to fruition. Now let me show you something. This ain't one of them I mean, I guess I'll be happy to show you something. These motherfuckers so clean, and I ain't even took them out the plastic, right? They just so hard. This the only one in the world. So I'm gonna hurt somebody maybe when we go on tour. If we in New York, I might whip these out and promo them on the stage because these cleaner than the black ones. I recouped costs on the black ones in the first day and went and told my partners, man, come on, bro, I do this. Stop playing. But let me show you. Like, we made all our bread back in the first day, family. And I bought a year worth of inventory. So how that sound? I fucks with it like that, though, because I'm a businessman and this is what it is, bro. Like, if you could be all clever in some other shit, you can't be clever in business. But what I was trying to show you is them shoes I just picked up. They started right on here, look, on Canva. So she had made a sample and was trying to send me these, and I'm like, stop playing with me. This Hyro sign is not horizontal. I ain't buying these. You need to get me in, and you got this red and blue. See, I changed the red and blue on the bottom and said give us some black laces. But since this was when they was making these, I'm like, nah, you gotta fix that, right? But I mean, come on now. It's just, I ain't showing you nothing. I'm showing you I'm just using the tools we be sitting here arguing with and doing stuff. And I'm making stuff, bro. This hat I got on, no, this ain't the hat I got on. This is the hat that I just made that I was wearing yesterday. But this one I just was in Canva. Just making these things in Canva. I got the whole shipment of all these hats. I made all these designs with ChatGPT and Canva. Right? And I'm the one doing it. So that raised the price right there. Because tell me I could go buy something that Run from Run DMC design and that shit fly, or LL actually sat and did it. Cut it out. I'm not comparing myself to that, but I know the value of my time and what's going on. But now I'm up out of here. I just want to give y'all a reason to show, man, this stuff high quality, bro. And then the factories I hooked up with now, see, this is what, when China came on TV talking about We make all that fly stuff anyway. Cats was thinking about reposting the video. Man, I was thinking about contacting them factories. Because I'm like, if you make stuff bootleg Louis Vuitton, I mean, no, you make Louis and then after hours you make more units than they asked you to make. Like this factory could do that to me too. I ordered a certain amount of units. They got my design. They could just make some more. But if I'm not selling them, they counterfeit. That's the only thing that make them counterfeit. See? If my factory pressed up 2,000 more pair of these and sell them themselves, they the same exact shoe. They just ain't licensed by me, so they would be called bootleg. So understanding that, let you know. But we made these 15 years ago, and these is very limited. These jeans, to have these on, pulling up to a hip-hop event, bruh, cut it out. We made these about 15 years ago. They vintage right now. The magic show that I was at for these was 2007, I think. So that's more than 15 years ago. Damn. 2008, 2007. So these vintage. I told them to put vintage up there, but they didn't want to put vintage. I could have put the whole story. Now this say baggy fit. I have to check one more thing. Because this is supposed to tell people already been buying these 250. We whipped these back out. Yeah, it says runs one size small, advised to buy a size larger. They did it right. Yeah, now these, I made these back in the day too, right? And these still held up. I kept like 100 pair in a box, in the boxes in our warehouse for 10 years and whipped them back out. I mean, come on now. Hey, I know what it looked like. I mean, I gotta stop playing. Motherfuckers don't know what it is and fine. But I'm up out of here. Shout out. Thanks for all the support. We're gonna keep on doing it. I don't need nothing from nobody to disseminate information. I don't really need support. This is my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't like doing that. I just want y'all to know it's all good. I'm out. Peace, 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 peace. Yeah, man, I'm out.